Hello everybody and welcome to section 6. After we know how to create 3D models and how to modify them, now it's the time to talk about assembly design. Here we will learn how to access the assembly environment, and we will get introduced to the user interface. To create an assembly file, select New, and instead of Part, select Assembly. And here, hit OK. If this is the first time you create an assembly file, SolidWorks assumes that you want to import or insert one of the parts you already created. That's why select Cancel for this and select Cancel for this. In the assembly environment, we are interested in two main tabs. The first one is Assembly. Here we can insert components, and then we can define mates between them so we can connect them to each other. We can pattern components and we can mirror them. And then we can move components, we can rotate them, and we can explode views. And the other important tab is Evaluate, where we can use the Measure tool and find the mass properties, and then we can check the interference. So basically, we will use Evaluate and we will use Assembly. Before inserting part into the assembly, we need to create some parts so we can insert them. To do so, select New, and select Part, then OK. And here I will start with a sketch on the top. And let's create a 400mm square. Then let's extrude this to 100. Once done, we need to save this part, and I will call it Assembly Part 1. Then create a new part, and this time create a 100mm cube. The same way, let's save it, and this time I will call it Assembly Part 2. Now, if you go to Window, you will find Assembly 1. And here we will insert the first part. To do so, we have this option, Insert Components. If you open this menu, you will find many options. For now, we are interested in the first one, Insert Components. And here you will have all the files you kept open. If you can't find the files here, select Browse, and then select the part. Let's select Assembly Part 1. Move the mouse, then click, and the first part was placed. Now, if you have a look here, it's a little bit different from what we already saw in the part design. Here we have this icon, and as you can see, it's yellow and blue, which means we have two parts, which indicates an assembly file. For the part file, we only have this yellow part. Now, we have the small letter, which is F, which means fixed. As a quick review, any part in the 3D space has 6 degrees of freedom. It has 3 translations along the X, Y, and Z, and it has 3 rotations about them. So our task in the assembly design will be to eliminate these degrees of freedom. And that can be achieved by using the mates, which are basically relations between the parts, like parallel, perpendicular, and coincident, and so on. We will talk about them in detail in the coming videos. For now, we can tell from this letter here that this is a fully defined body, and you can tell that from here, fully defined. So this is how we insert our first part.